my queen, my queen. Oh, she, oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel. So strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Malcolm and Obama, yeah, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. Better treat her like a queen. Oh, oh, oh. Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying back to work, 'cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall. A champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do. Yeah, the true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah, oh. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, and Jesus too. Oh, she is sophisticated, strong, yeah, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful. Not only that you are educated, yes you are, eccentric, empowering. You're mine, she's a queen. You're mine. You're my. Treat her like no price could be put on how much she's worth. So valuable, she's the soul of the earth. All a part of God's genius plan. Powerful as she can be, the man's H-E-L-P. Sophisticated, strong, simply amazing. She is humble, honest, and helpful. What I like about her is she's educated. She's my ebony, empowering. Yeah, 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 yeah. She's my queen. Sophisticated, strong.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Well, hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and I am thoroughly excited about being able to share with you again today. Please do me a favor, as I always ask you to do. Invite someone else to come in and to be a part of this amazing discussion for today. I'm talking about at least 8 signs that you're settling. 8 signs that you're settling for a man or you're settling for a woman, because these principles go both ways. It's applicable to men or women, and quite often men are settling. See men settling all the time. Not as much as I see women settling, but I do see men that are settling. You just, for whatever reason, you're playing beneath yourself. Or you've been played beneath yourself. And you're settling for a woman that is not on a level that complements who you are. So I do see it with men, but mostly I see women that are out here in these streets settling for men that should have never gotten a conversation. Settling for men that should have never even gotten a conversation. And I want to get into 8 signs that you're settling for a man. But let's lay some foundation. Why does this happen? Why are women settling? I think there are 2 primary reasons. More than this, but these are the 2 major reasons as it relates to why women settle that come to my mind. Number 1, you lack a commitment to personal vision. I won't say that you don't have personal vision, but I think in many cases women lack a commitment to their personal vision. And you get distracted between your personal vision, which deals with your individuality and why the Creator made you as an individual, versus your desire for a relationship. You're getting ahead of your individuality, trying to force a pairing. You've not become a full individual in terms of actualizing everything the Creator has designed you to be, and you're ahead of yourself trying to force a pairing with someone. How can you pair with someone when you don't fully know who you are yet? You've not finished your process. Fetuses can't mate in the womb. Unborn children can't mate in the womb. The child has to be born. The child is an individual developing in the womb. The child has to be born, and then the child has to grow and mature, and then the child is equipped to mate, to suitably find one that is suitable for him or her. Well, when we think about it like that, a lot of women are emotionally, psychologically, spiritually still in the womb of development. And you're out here trying to force a relationship because you lack vision. And the Bible says in Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people perish. In other words, the people cast off restraint. Where there is no vision, the people have nothing to guide them, steer them, prevent them from shipwrecking their own lives. So there's this lack of vision that women suffer from many days that causes you to settle. Sometimes you're settling and you don't realize you're settling because you don't really know who you are. You don't really know why the Creator has, created and developed, designed you. And so you're settling beneath yourself. The second reason, which I think is probably the greatest reason women settle, is because of fear. There are a few fears that women in particularly live with. Men don't generally have these fears, but women in particularly live with these fears. And it's the fear of being alone. Men don't usually come into some fear of being alone until we, get up in age. We get into maybe our late 40s, 50s for certain, definitely 60s. And we start thinking about, our bodies are changing. Health is clearly not as good as it was when we were 25 years younger. And now we start selfishly thinking about, I don't want to grow old by myself. So then you find older guys trying to then settle down. Now, the problem with, and I don't mean to go off and chase this rabbit, but the problem with older guys having a fear of being alone and trying to settle down is that we quite often think that we can buy love. So we go and try to purchase a young woman. And not just a young woman. We try to purchase sometimes women our own age. But they don't necessarily love us. So we don't necessarily do the work, even as men, to really find a woman that loves us for who we are. We take the quick route, and that is we flash the wallet. Like women flash sex, we flash money. But if you're flashing sex or money, chances are slim to none that you're going to come up with something authentic. But women in particularly struggle with this fear of being alone. Even from your 20s, you're afraid of being alone. You're young, you're in the prime of life, and you're afraid of being alone. Then there's the fear of aging. For women, I need a man because I want to have children, and if I don't do it now, I might not be able to have children. And if I don't get married now, they say the clock is ticking. The older I get, the less likely it is I'm going to be able to get married. So there's this fear of being alone. Then there's this fear of aging. And then there's, I think, the greatest fear of all, it's the fear of being socially ridiculed. It's the fear of going into parties or meetings or family reunions or church, and people constantly saying to you, when you gonna get married? Where's your man? And so your auntie pull you to the side and say, girl, don't be no fool. Piece of man is better than none at all. And so you just make up your mind that you're going to settle for anything that pops up, any man that's interested. You don't even have to be interested in him. You're going to settle because of these fears: fear of being alone, fear of aging, fear of social ridicule. But listen to what the Bible says in Proverbs 29:25. We just read 29:18, where there's no vision, the people perish. In 29:25 of Proverbs, it says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, But whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. You know, when it comes down to relationships, that's something we all have to trust God for. There's no, people can teach you how to go and probably, you know, attract a man or attract a woman, but can't nobody really teach you how to manifest a husband or a wife. That's kind of like something that has to be left in the hands of the Creator. And I think he made that clear for us in the book of Genesis when he made Adam and Eve separately. He made them as individuals. He didn't make them as a pair. And then he specifically brought them together. I think what we learn from that is we need to be about our individual work and development, and we need to trust God for the manifestation of our suitable partners. Now, that doesn't mean that you just sit in your house and you say, God, bring him to my house. No, you have to put yourself in social settings. You have to, have a personable kind of approach to life. You have to be around people. You have to be interested in people and all of those kinds of things. But ultimately, you can't live with this mindset that I'm afraid of what people are thinking, what people are saying. So I'm gonna just jump the gun and I'm gonna force something to happen. No, he says the fear of man brings a snare, but whoso puts his trust in the Lord shall be safe. There's a point you have to say as a woman, especially, God, I trust you to manifest my husband. And in the meantime, I'm gonna just be busy living my life, fulfilling purpose, being a blessing everywhere I go, becoming the best version of myself so I can attract what I'm attracted to. And what I'm attracted to can recognize me as suitable to it. And you trust God for manifesting a man or manifesting your husband, right? And I'm just a firm believer. If you trust God, I'm a man of faith. If you trust God and you're doing what you're supposed to do, God will do the rest. Now, you can't be like a whole lot of these church women now who get so saved and they so spiritual, they can't smile. They get offended at a man speaking to them. I don't know where y'all get this from. A man say hello, you turning your neck all up in there like the man, got out the way with you. Why you can't say hello back? Okay, they just taught y'all wrong in church. It ain't nothing wrong with you. You're not a loose woman because you're polite and nice. If a man gets disrespectful, you know how to shut that down and keep it moving. But you don't have people speaking to you unless they just calling you out the wrong way. What's up, mama? Well, you don't respond to that. Queens don't respond to clown behavior. But if a man is just speaking, learn how to say hello. You don't know, you might be saying hello to your husband. But that's another subject for another day. I want to jump in. I want to look at eight signs that you're settling, because some of you all are settling right now. Drink a little coffee on that one. You are settling right now. Number one, when there's a lack of emotional connection, you are settling. As a woman, especially, but even as a man. If you don't feel like a woman is emotionally connected to you, emotionally available to you, I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how great the sex is. You're settling. And see, for a woman, this is even more important because you can have a man that looks good on paper. He makes the right money. He may be a nice guy. You may be having sex with him already and you know that he's great in bed, but you feel no emotional availability in this man. The woman in this case appears emotionally distant, or unengaged in conversations and activities with this particular man. Because when you are with a man that is emotionally unavailable, what happens is it sends you into a cave emotionally. And so now you begin to shut down emotionally. And there's nothing worse that can happen for a woman. We as men, we cheat, primarily because we have not calmed um, our sexual appetite, our pubescent, adolescent desires and lust. And so, we want something different all the time. That's why primarily we cheat. I know men come up with all other different kinds of answers, but primarily men cheat because we just nasty and we just want in our carnal, immature nature, we just want as many women as we can get. That's why men typically cheat. But when a woman typically cheats, it's because there's an emotional void. She doesn't feel connected to her man, her husband, emotionally. And when there's an emotional void in a woman, there is a gap. She becomes vulnerable. And so for you to just ignore the fact, just riding on the fact, oh, he's a nice guy, he's good looking, he makes a lot of money, he loves Jesus, but he's not connected. You don't feel connected to him emotionally. That's not something you sweep under the rug. Now that's something you have to articulate. You have to make him understand how necessary this is for you. It doesn't mean that he got to become a full-fledged woman in terms of his emotional availability, but it does mean he has to pay attention. And he has, because we typically as men are not as emotionally vulnerable as women are, as our wives are. But we have the capacity to learn how to be more emotionally available. And when you as a woman have a man that is not, you don't feel connected to emotionally, but he's a great guy in every other way, you are settling if you think that you're going to be able to enter into this relationship or this covenant and truly be happy. This is how great women end up cheating. It's because you never articulated the necessity and the importance of your man being emotionally available to you, being able to listen to you, being able to share his heart with you. These things are very, very important to a woman. And when a woman does not feel emotionally connected to a man, her heart breaks, especially a man that she loves. And you can be in a position where you're settling for a man that you love. If that man is not fortifying all of the major areas in your feminine soul, you are settling. You're in a position where you may have a great man, great looking relationship that you're miserable in. He may be perfectly happy with you, but are you perfectly happy with him? You see, it's not a relationship unless both of us are equally fulfilled in it. And you're settling if you think that you're going to make a great relationship out of a situation with a man that you don't feel connected to. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. You got to guard that heart. If in the greatest way a woman guards her heart is to put her heart in the hands of a man that is emotionally available to her. Last thing you want is a man that can make money and make love, but he can make love to your body, he can make money, but he can't make love to your mind because he's disconnected emotionally. and you're feeling stuff and you're going through stuff and he can't even see it. And you're angry with him because you feel like he should know these things. But the reality is your responsibility to communicate that emotionally you're not satisfied. There's a lot lacking. What do you think is going to happen after years of that? Years of being with a man that you feel no emotional connection to. And then the moment you running across the parking lot trying to, get into your work and somebody says, "Hello there." And then you get on the elevator with this person, and in the time it takes to get from level 1 to level 6, this man is already connected with you emotionally in ways that your husband or your man can't. What you think gonna happen? You ain't no loose woman, but you human. What you think gonna happen? It's important that you as a woman make certain that the man you love understands how important him being connected to you emotionally is. Ibn Abez says the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. You got to love him, but then you got to teach him how to love you. Right? See, we as men, we can be a lot of times perfectly content with just a sexual connection, and we good with that. We don't need as much emotional investment as wives and women do. It's the way you set up feminine, your feminine nature and your feminine frame, your body, your biology, your chemistry is set up in ways that you have to have a man that is connected emotionally. Number 2, 8 signs that you're settling in a relationship with a man. There's a diminished, when you look at your life, you have a diminished personal growth. You stopped growing since you've been with this man. You have stopped growing. You've put your dreams and ambitions on hold. Here the woman puts her personal aspirations and growth on hold, or neglects them entirely to accommodate the relationship's demands. You've gotten out of school. You've quit your job. You've walked away from your family. You've stopped your pursuit of God. You've stopped growing financially. You've stopped growing intellectually. You've stopped growing spiritually. You've stopped growing in terms of your connection with your family, your most necessary relationships, in most cases, not all. For a man or for a woman, again, this applies to men and women. You stop growing. Mostly women, because usually, women demand that a man continues to grow in certain aspects, definitely financially. But I see women too often, you just stop growing once it's like, they say y'all can use both sides of your brains. Can't you do 2 things at one time? That's what they say y'all supposed to be able to do as women. You can't be in a relationship and pursue your career and your education at the same time. Well, a lot of times the reason you've stopped growing in certain areas is because you've chosen a little man that can't accommodate the ultimate version of you, so he works overtime to keep you stuck at the present version of you. So he presses the pause button on all of your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. And so you forsake everything the Creator designed for you, the Father, the Heavenly Father designed for you, for the sake of a man. You're going to be a third of what you were supposed to be that would bring glory to the Creator. You're going to settle for a third of that because you prefer a man over manifesting the best version of yourself. And here's the truth about it. Any man that God sends you is not going to diminish you. He's going to fertilize your potential and expand you. Adam and Eve expanded one another. They were both in dominion as individuals, but when they came together, boom, wow. And any man that can't boom wow your life, but rather is trying to squeeze you down to something he can manage, you deceiving yourself, and he may be talking nice and all of that kind of thing, and he may be polite, but he's still controlling and manipulative. And if you really pay attention, you can see where, your pursuit of him has caused you to lose connection with yourself. Jeremiah 29:11, listen to what it says. For I know the plans I have for you. This is what God plans for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. To say that you have a future means that your tomorrow is supposed to be greater than your today. Hope and a future. But you are foregoing your future because you prefer a man that is not comfortable with your growth pursuits. So you've detached yourself from your growth mindset to be with this man who clearly does not have a growth mindset of his own. You're settling, my dear. Number 3, you're settling. He lacks masculine energy. Now, that doesn't mean that he's feminine in terms of his, demeanor. Doesn't mean he's gay. You have a whole lot of heterosexual feminine men. When we talk about masculine versus feminine, feminine receives, masculine gives, right? Feminine is adored, masculine adores. Feminine is kept, masculine keeps. Well, a lot of times you're in relationships with men that allow you to lead. Masculine leads, feminine submits and follows. That doesn't mean that women are, natural followers, but in the context of a relationship, women are leaders, but you have to have a man that is equipped to lead you. He has to have a desire to do so. He has to have a track record in doing so. And you have to have a trust for him to do so. But when you have a man that doesn't even have a desire to lead, when you have a man that doesn't even have a desire to earn that he can be a provider, that's a little feminine man. All he want to do is, have sex and, grease his hair, put grease all over his muscles and everything. And there you are, you the one out here humping and earning, got a couple of jobs and making all of the plans for the future. And that's cute right now to have a little man around here with his little muscles greased up and don't want no job and, satisfied with the status quo. But babe, after you have a couple children, and you get a few more years under your belt relative to working or running your business, and you tired of doing all that, and you wanna step back into your feminine, you wanna be a mother and a wife, and you don't feel like working 60 hours a week, that ain't gonna be cute no more. See, you driving a little relationship now, you compensating for your little feminine man, his lack of drive and ambition and all of these things. But when you want to step back into your feminine completely, you're going to realize that you made a horrific mistake. Because if old boy is not a leader, not a provider, not a protector, now he ain't going to be that tomorrow. Maya Angelou said, believe a person when they tell you who they are the first time. And 1 Peter 3:7 says, likewise, ye husbands, Dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life. It's a bad combination to have a woman that's stronger than a man. Now, you may be stronger in areas, but generally, it's a bad combination for a woman to be stronger than a man. It's a conflict of energy between masculine and feminine, and it usually ends bad. It usually ends bad. And so you sitting there looking at this guy, and you can see that this man does not fit the bill relative to being a masculine man, and you still pushing this anyway. You want a wedding so bad. You know this man is not masculine. Oh, he may be buffed, and he may be heterosexual, and he may be great in bed, but he ain't no leader. He ain't no protector. He ain't no teacher. He ain't no provider. You run this little man like he's your child, and he lets you get away with that. And you think that's cute right now, but you ain't gonna be attracted to that later. Number 4, you don't respect and or admire him. If you don't respect your man and admire your man, if you don't look at a man that you're considering in a way that you say, man, ooh, wow, I'm proud to be with this dude. If you're going into social settings with your man and you're like ashamed or embarrassed of him, and you're cutting him off and you're trying to avoid certain conversations, that means you don't for you to be have a lifelong attraction to a man as a woman, you're going to have to admire your man. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about my wife in terms of how I know she sees me. She's seen me this way for 30 some years since we were dating. I mean, long time, probably 35 years, maybe 36. And that is, my wife has always admired me. She's always respected me. In my wife's eyes, no man is greater than R.C. Blake's. She's never made me feel like she saw somebody else as superior to me. No, she's always looked at me with eyes that, I don't care who's in the room, you are the greatest man in this room. Right? And if you as a woman can't look at your man like that, or if you as a man don't have a woman that looks at you like that, bro, you settling. You need a woman that you don't need a woman that tolerates you. You need a woman that celebrates you, that is proud to be your woman. You need a man that you're proud to be his woman. You admire him. You respect him. Right? This is why I say all the time, this is why I say all the time, when a woman meets the right man, submission comes naturally. Because the right man is going to honor you and live his life in a way that you fully respect and admire. And so the natural response to the masculine manifestation of a man is submission. Submission was never designed to be forced. It's just that when you meet the right man with the right heart, the right soul comes naturally. Number 5, you know that you're settling when you're limited in your communication and expression. When there's certain things you can't say, when you feel hesitant or stifled, when expressing your thoughts, your ideas, or emotions within the relationship. If you can't speak your mind now, why would you press forward with this? Why would you give more time to this? Why would you go and create wedlock with this? There's a difference between marriage versus wedlock. A lot of folk are just in wedlock. If you can't communicate and express your heart now, if you're limited in what you can say now, where are you going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You have to wake up and realize that you're settling. A relationship is supposed to be an open line of communication between the two. A woman is supposed to be able to talk to her man, teach her man. A man is supposed to be able to talk to his woman, teach his woman. The two are supposed to be able to have a free exchange. Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they be agreed? There has to be a meeting of the what? Minds. How do we know we agree if we can't talk? If you have certain insecurities and triggers that every time I try to talk about certain things, you blow up or you go off the deep end, that may be enough sign for me that we ain't designed to work. Not like this. Maybe we can just be good friends, but we are not designed to be out here trying to be all up in one another's personal space. Listen to what Isaiah 1:18 says. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Even God says we can discuss it. The Almighty, the All-Knowing says, come on, let's talk about it. I want to hear what's on your mind. And here you are settling for a situation with somebody you can't even talk to. Every time you try to talk to them, they get mad or they become evasive. They change the subject. They gaslight you or whatever they may do. And there you are trying to push forward with a farce of a relationship like this. Number 6, you settling. When you're compromising your values and your core beliefs. Do you know how many women especially, just abandon your values and your beliefs to have a man? Now, I see y'all all over the social media trying to support the idea of one man having 2, 3, 4, and 5 women. And to each his own. I ain't never trying to tell folk how to live. I'm just telling y'all what I believe. And I'm not saying I'm always right. I am most of the time though. You know good and well that at your core, you don't want to be a part of nobody's team. You laying up in the bed with these other women and this one man. And at your core, especially those of you women who were raised in the United States of America. Now, others of you were raised in different cultures, and I've been to different parts of the world where they authentically engage that kind of lifestyle. But you women that are in the United States of America, in Europe, at your core, you don't believe that you're supposed to be a part of no team with no 3 and 4 other women, unless you're coming out of Utah somewhere. They do that kind of thing over there somewhere. But generally, in the United States of America, you settling for that because you desperate. But you have abandoned all of your core beliefs. As a Christian, as a woman, you have compromised your values and your beliefs for the sake of a pseudo relationship. This is a farce. The woman compromises her core values and beliefs to align with her partners, even if it contradicts her true convictions. When you start contradicting your true convictions, you are divorcing from yourself. You are losing you trying to win someone else. This is why the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Do not be unequally yoked together, is how the King James reads. But you're settling because you say, well, I'm at an age now where I may not have another chance. I like what Harvey Fierstein says. He says, never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. Andre Gide says, it is better to be hated for what you are than loved for what you are not. And you're showing up real phony and fake right now. This is not you. You're just settling. But you know that at your core, you're way outside of the boundaries of your core beliefs, trying to facilitate a relationship that probably should not be facilitated. You're not even equally yoked with this individual. Some of you brothers do the same thing. You forsake all of your core beliefs trying to make a woman happy. Isn't that what Samson did? What did it get him? Got him a haircut, got him divorced from purpose, humiliated. He went from a king to a slave, all because he compromised his core beliefs and values for the sake of a woman. He walked away from what God told him, what the Creator told him, to try to please and win a woman. It ultimately got him killed, got his eyes gouged out. Wow. Number 7, you're settling. You're settling. When you look at yourself and you see unfulfilled potential, when your dreams and your desires, again, take a backseat or remain unfulfilled due to the relationship's limitations or lack of support. You could be here, you should be here, but you're not, because you don't have the kind of support from this individual. And so you're showing up. Remember, I just said to you, the right man will enhance your productivity and make you greater than you were before he met you. He's not going to limit you, and he's certainly not going to stifle your potential through a lack of support. And then watch this. I'm going to finish early today. I like this one. Number 8. You know that you're settling when you are presently living with, and people even go to the altar with this. You know that you're settling when you're living with resentment for unmet needs. You're mad, you're angry every day about things that you feel like this man should be fulfilling in your life. But you write him off as, oh, that's just a little thing. It'll work out. He'll change. He'll change. So the woman harbors feelings of resentment or unhappiness, which stem from unmet needs and unaddressed concerns within the relationship. And what happens is you just let it pile up and pile up and pile up, and you fight through it. And you this is where y'all talking about, I'm fighting for my relationship. Well, yeah. well, let me leave that alone. But this stuff just piles up and piles up and piles up. And you've not addressed it. You've just settled. And the day comes when these little small things, it's the small foxes that spoil the vines, the Bible says. These little small things have now compounded into a great thing, into something major. But you're ignoring the resentment now. Dude don't even know, that you're angry about stuff. He just feels the shift in your attitude. He feels the atmosphere gets a little chilly, but he doesn't know that that's stemming from the fact that, you're angry with him because he could have gotten another job to make things easier, he's not emotionally connected to you, and you have a whole lot of emotional needs, or he's not paying attention. Come on, man. You got this resentment in you. You're settling. Why would you push forward in a relationship where you have this resentment? It's better for you to communicate clearly, see what the person does with what you communicate. If they don't change, it's better for you to understand that this is not designed to be. Let them go and you go. A lot of times you're wasting so much time in relationships that are clearly not it, that you've taken yourself off of the market from those that could have been it. And I say this all the time, especially to women. You can't keep telling me about there are no good men out here when you wasting all of your years with the wrong ones. And you know that he's the wrong one sooner than later. You know it, but it takes so long for your body to let it go. But Ephesians chapter 4, 31, 32 says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another. He says, get rid of all bitterness. Well, sometimes getting rid of the bitterness is not only communicating your feelings about it, but sometimes it's being smart enough to realize that this person does not have the capacity to fulfill me. And if I stick with this, I'm going to continue in this same anger. Right? And so there you have it, man. There are 8 signs from my perspective that you're settling. 8 signs that you're settling. Father, I thank you today for every person, man and woman, that's under the sound of my voice. Let something that I've said resonate and transform something I've said. And now, Father, my prayer is that you will give clarity, you will give wisdom, you will bring balance. And God, I thank you that even in their process of communicating with people that they probably really love, God, I thank you for giving them the revelation of truth. In those conversations, God, giving them the grace of communication. And God, where reconciliation is in your will, God, I thank you for reconciling and putting their relationship on another level. Dear God, where you're just not in it, God, I thank you for giving their heart the peace with understanding that it is what it is. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Now listen, don't forget that you can go to the description and you can find the link for BetterHelp Counseling. And if you utilize that link, BetterHelp will give you 10% off of the cost of their counseling and will in turn make a deposit into R.C. Blake's Ministries because I recommended them to you. If you need counseling, remember, I'm no counselor. Lisa's no counselor. But we have a wonderful relationship with BetterHelp Counseling. If you use that link, you can tap into that. Don't forget to go to the website, sign up for the mailing list, Check out all of my online programs. Hey man, go to Amazon, pick up all of my books. I want to say thanks to all of you that support Lisa and I financially. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. We really appreciate you. Now, my prayer is that you have really taken the time to at least like this video, right? I always say I just don't understand why it's so hard if you really like this content to just press the button. Listen, Queenology is happening and registration is already open. We're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, August 23rd through the 25th of 2024. It's going to be more amazing than 2023 was. Oh my God, I can't get into, just go to queenology.net and you can kind of see a little bit of what's going to happen. But I had an amazing conversation with Dave Hollister, who is the artist that performs our theme song. She wrote and performed the song especially for Queenology and for my purposes. That's why it's not for sale anywhere yet. Well, guess what? Dave Hollister is coming to Queenology 2024 next year. And as we always do, we culminate Queenology with an all-white party. Well, next year, Dave Hollister is going to be the entertainment, and he's going to be singing the theme song, She, at Queenology Live 2024. Go to queenology.net, register today. Seating is limited. People are already registering. Very soon, I'm certain that I'll be telling you we sold out of this, we're selling out of that. That's the way, I thank God, but that's the way it goes. So go to queenology.net and register for Queenology today. In fact, there are payment plans that you can actually engage. Now, I think I've said everything. That I need to say. Other than this, you're on top, you're going higher. God has more in store for you. So you know it. We will see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time, make certain that you like this video before you leave out of here today. God bless you. I love you. Have a great one.
We here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. R.C. and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by R.C. Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by R.C. You may find all books written by R.C. and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.